Alright, so this is my end of day recap for Friday. Let's get into it. Some of bias was bullish going into Friday. I have NQ pulled up ES. Let's see, let me look at line real quick. Okay, yeah. So we've seen this week open lower, right? This is the weekly open on NQ. This is YM. Um, Pretty decoupled early on in the week, but we've seen that all assets expand and lower into key levels, irrelevant swings, so there's nothing beyond that. So we can definitely get a new face price. We can reverse away from that for sure. Especially since I think price is in a monthly gap, um, and new month open as well. But so see the week opened lower, hit key levels. There's really no reason for NQ to continue lower. We're extremely bearish. C2, C3, C4, C5. Thursday then of course doesn't respect that. It makes it counter trend move back into the weekly range, kind of like C3 on all assets, just no S&P. But we've seen that ES held the S&P with this low. So like this week opened lower. Oops. Right, opened lower here. We opened lower. We did create S&P with one here, doing this premium to discount. We held that S&P, expanded away from it. All assets reached key levels going into Wednesday, pretty much. And ES held this low and displaced away from it. Like, so at that point, we have to assume this S&P is prominent, right? We're going to respect this S&P and head higher because we displaced away from it, which confirms a reversal. When we look within this PA here, we want to see that V shape away. Is it clean? Yes, nice V shape. And so I wanted to see pretty much current high get taken because it's leaving feather swings at current high. So that's the major liquidity for today. So you can see the firm because like what are pair ranges. The profile is C3 on Thursday, Friday C4 continuation. So Friday is if price is going to create the C4 continuation, if the bias is going to be respected, the bullish bias, then Friday is going to ideally open lower, but it needs to respect EQ pretty range, the upper half of this range. So if I drop down to the 4 hour to find that key level. Like right now, you can say NQ is kind of stronger, but overall ES is closer to current week high. So you can say ES is leading bullishly, but typically it's never like that. But it technically is looking stronger. But going into today, do we have a refined killable? Forward gap? Yeah, we do. We opened up kind of far away from it. I don't think we even reached it during Asia. We just open higher at first. So realistically, there's like no Asia trade here that I would take. Unless price during 1800 opened a lower at first into this gap, then 1800 or most likely 2200 expansion away would be valid. But we open higher today at first, which isn't ideal, but price takes these highs out and then leaves feather swings to the overall drawn liquidity. And then 2 a.m. retraces away from that, I think. Yeah. And going into, let's go into the driver because that's when I showed up to PA. So what I wanted to see is one of these gaps get hit on the flare, ideally. And ideally it was current day low here. And I thought ES was going to hit it, and we're going to do that right there. Because technically 1800 did create the refined level. And at first, we did have technically string switch second stage of T here. With NQ, I'm pretty sure. For a while. Yeah, because YM never took this IO, and then we created strength switch second stage S&P like that. Articulable. But again, is this a clean reversal? No, because why is it not? Because it's opposing to the overall bias, right? It's kind of clean though, because here's the logic behind it. The weekly candle itself doesn't support that bullish expansion, and today we're above the weekly open, and we know that when price has that large wick, price is going to have a hard time expanding beyond the opening price. So that's one thing that kind of supports bearishness. And then the day opens higher at first, so the daily profile supports, and we have these clean failure swings here that are just obviously like they need to be taken. So I mean that could have been clean. I don't think there was anything news. There isn't, so irrelevant time, honestly. Um, I don't trade 830 anyways, even 30 news, honestly. So, but we do expand away from that. I'm crazy for that. That could have been a possible continuation entry. But there was no S&P fill. But it would have been a possibly, if it was S&P fill, it would have been a second stage PSB S&P fill. That, like that, or like whatever. So, but we expand lower, and so in reality, like shorts here, it could make sense, but and technically, yeah, we have the strength switch second stage T to fade the overall filler swings here, so it's valid. But it's just like also what else is part of it is the 4 hour being extremely bullish as well. And then going to 6 a.m. 6 hour, I'm sure we're probably, yeah. So it kind of makes sense. So, but again, opposing to my overall bias, I'm bullish, so I really don't care about it, and it's an irrelevant time. I really don't care about it, but it could make sense, honestly. But it's still lower probability because we're fading failure swings like this. I mean, it's kind of shitty. And then we've seen the driver open up, but honestly, I wanted to see NQ because literally right here, it looked like NQ was gonna possibly take these highs out. Or no, actually, this is right before. So going into the driver, we kind of hold this S&P. There's no strength switch second S&P. As you see, there's nothing, but we nevertheless take the relevant swing out. And I thought that NQ was going to take current high out, and that actually would have been very clean and more high probability than this shit here. So I mean, shorts here could have made sense, but then we decided to edge these highs out, and yeah, technically we did create SMT like this here. Pretty sure. Never mind. We literally just created one stage SMT, maybe on the 15-minute. I don't know. I thought we created 2 stage. Yeah, I don't know why people took that. That's crazy. Okay. Um, literally makes no sense, but yeah. So, yeah. So we decided to leave these feather swings. Again, this is probably a result from not only this here, where we're heading lower, but also this here heading lower. This is probably a result from the weekly wick size and us being above the weekly open, right, which is right here. Which I'm gonna draw that new week opening gap out. Let's see what this looks like. The close to the open. So we're kind of like splicing through it and then rebalancing it. So anyway, so I'm viewing this as retracement because even if it was strength switch second stage T, it does not matter. It's opposing to the overall bias. We're leaving failure swing at the highest, so it's retracement to me. So I was going to cap off a retracement at key level. And I wanted to see SMT at this point with current day low. As you see, all assets reach current day low. So there's no SMT with the key level. So we have to see a PSP right within it. And 10 AM just opens up and shoots lower in a way to create out large wick. So now I can't trade 10 AM bullishly. So no matter what, I'm forced to wait till 12. That new 6-hour open in order to fade the 10 AM forward panel. So yeah. But now the daily profile is delayed, open high, low high. So, but nevertheless, the drawn liquidity at that point is currently high, which is still the overall drawn liquidity, so it doesn't matter. Just not ideal though for the day that makes kind of makes it unclean, but so yeah, we've seen 10 open up. Let's skip forward. 11:30 opens, 12, and as you can see, 12 opens up here. So again, no trade that I would take here. Yep. Now I'm kind of just waiting to trade the leading asset in reversal going into 12. And notice how, we retrace super deep into this range. We don't respect this gap. So clearly we're bullish. We're clearly not wanting to be bearish. Great to see you. And then, yeah, clearly ES is still looking stronger. But we don't create a gap on the 30-minute. Check that hourly. Okay, the hourly at 12 is creating a gap. But I don't think we retrace into it. Yeah, we don't. We create a new gap here. But again, we do create S&P fill with that gap. I thought we did. I don't think we did. 30-minute video. So, yeah, there we go. So, no, literally no S&P fill. I thought there was S&P fill. Maybe on 30-minute one. There we go. Again, this is a valid trade. It's S&P fill here. Not for me. Although this is confirmation to the overall universe sequence where we have a key level hit, which you can say is currently low, or the 4-hour gaps, which is technically the universe sequence before. Clearly we're bullish. One reach for these highs. And there was no SMT with the key level, so we have to see a PSP, which we do actually form on the hourly for each other. Do here on YM. On NQ here. But no 2-stage crack. Right? Maybe if we took this low out, or maybe if another asset took this low and this one didn't, turn towards the 2nd stage PSP at that point. But again, couldn't trade that though because the 10-year forward doesn't support the low expansion. We do have a PSP within the key level, and then price displaces away, creating a gap on the 30-minute hourly here. So universal sequence, right? We're essentially trading ES. At least clean for those things. Like, oh my god. But we're technically trading ES as the leading asset, the strongest asset bullishly, right? In reversal, away from the universal sequence, right? Yeah, we have S&P fill here. But this low at 1 p.m. is a gap high on the hourly, and it's just a basic S&P fill. So honestly, it's really not that clean. It's really not. And then we don't really do much after that, so it kind of looks like we're gonna probably retrace into that. We surprisingly don't retrace into this gap on both YM and ES, but NQ does, and that's where we actually validate a trade. I would have actually taken this, but it was at 2 p.m. and I don't trade during PM, so I stopped looking at the charts at around 1 p.m. Around here. I was like, okay, like I said, I just don't trade European, but I mean, very clearly and obviously, European is going to reach his highs. So I mean, honestly, today would have been a valid day to trade during European because I mean everything checks the box. So at this point, we have a new 4-hour kind of open, 6-hour open, right? So right when so this is a PSP confirmed S&P fill, right? 2nd stage PSP S&P fill. So this is a valid SMT sequence, which confirms the universal sequence for me personally. So I can try this. But so the 1 hour 30-minute, the 4 hour, the daily is aligned, even the 6 hour supports in the 90-minute. I think 90 minute was at 4:30, right? Or 2:30, probably. 3. Okay. So yeah, I mean it's aligned stuff supports. So yeah, so looking within this C2, do we have that V shape? So literally all time rooms aligned. We have confirmation to the universal sequence. Um, so I can trade this. Start another 5 minute. We have that V shape. We're dealing with 5 minute climbing. It's kind of choppy. Oh, actually, we formed here. Sure. The gap at 2 p.m. got hit right here. We held that. Two p.m. 2:30. Held that SMT with this low right here. Boom. I like how all this is V shape. V shape. Nice CSD. Honestly, this is pretty clean. Um, I like to do this. I don't know why it's like a habit of mine. But so yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a trade ES, and look how we edge these highs. Like we literally leave these highs open, and we trace away. So what's gonna cap out that tracement? A gap, key level, SMT, boom. This C2 away from the gap confirms right with that clean V shape. That's what we want to see. That V shape away confirms the over SMT, the key level, the reversal away, right? And I mean, that should cap off the retracement. We should continue from this. So taking the entry, pretty much retracing the CSD and then close right here. I would have just taken that, stop at the EQ, the wick, 2R, just like that. Price does come back deeply into this retesting the CSD. After that, I would have definitely tried myself with this low. Literally, revenues really expand away. I would have done that. And we create this CICC here. And I mean, you could, like, I probably would have trailed here, honestly, to just get half risk. But in reality, it's probably smart to just wait for price to reach this high and then trail. Because price does this. Would have taken me out perfectly. Literally would have taken me out. So probably would be smart to wait for price to reach the actual liquidity. And then price eventually does do this. Creates a new order block. Definitely trail my stop to here. So now I'm not half risk right now. Perfectly. Price shouldn't come back down here. If it's gonna come back down here, it's gonna take this low, and it's probably not gonna take the overall. You know, it's probably not gonna go higher. So, and then price shoots higher going into 3 p.m. breaching, you know, the draw liquidity. So, um, so yeah, I mean that's like this is like the only trade honestly for today that was actually logical, clean to take. I don't know why anybody took anything else before this because it really did not make sense at all. But I mean, everybody has their own model, they have their own way of trading. So I mean, if they want to gamble, that's on them. But I think that taking shit like that is it's gonna be hard to judge. You know, it's gonna be hard to learn from that. I mean, in a way, because it's like you're taking lower probability setups, and you're right here. Right here could have been clean, but even then, it's still pretty shit. Maybe if the continuation was offered here, but that price didn't take slow. But here down the driver did not make sense. Bullishly, obviously didn't make sense. Definitely didn't make sense because the forward kind of doesn't put the low expansion and no 2 stage. And I have to see strength without the reversal. So, but if I can't capitalize on the reversal, the initial reversal, then what I have to wait for displacement away. Okay, we displace away, create gaps. That's the universal sequence. price leaves equal highs, retraces, caps off the retracement with a second stage PSP SMB fill, and expands away from it like it should. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's like the only trade honestly offered today. So I didn't even care about metals. Yeah, very quick and simple. I don't really know what else I should say. Um, very like I did pretty good when coming into today, building my narrative, understanding what price will do, sticking true to the bias, not trying to take fucking every fucking trade that's offered. Um, there was really no trade offered when I came into the markets at around 9 a.m. Right? Because like I said, the driver entry pass, unless NQ actually took out the current week high, then I actually could frame a trade away from that if we had shrunk towards second stages and B going into the driver. Because it would actually make sense. Right? The weekly candle doesn't support the lowest match number above the weekly open. We just took the current week high. So if we perform a shrink towards, even if we don't perform a shrink towards second stage and B away from that, it makes sense to cap out the weekly range candle right there, away from that candle. But if we add that shrink switch, obviously I can trade it. And the 4-hour at that point, right, extremely bullish. Same with the 6-hour. The day opens higher, so the daily profile supports. I mean, honestly, I think the cleanest trade that would have been offered today would have been shorts away from current high, but we just didn't get it. And we all assets edged those highs, leaving feather swings. So we know this is opposing to the bias. This is likely retracement because it's leaving feather swings and shit. Um, unless today, you know, were to shoot lower like crazy, and then obviously, price wouldn't support that bullish mentioned today, and the daily profile doesn't support fade the daily candle because the current day high would be London at that point. You want it to be Asia, but because you want the day to open lower or higher, or yeah, lower at first if we're going to fade the daily candle bullshit. So then at that point, that would have been a validation, and at that point, I would just turn off the charts, and I wouldn't be trading continuation. I've seen people try trading continuation away from this. It's like, what are you targeting? What is down here that's clean? Are you targeting 4-hour gaps? Are you targeting EQ this range? Away from what though? What are we reversing away from? Where's the second stage crack and correlation? Okay, yeah, we have the displacement away, sure, but which would confirm the rest of you at that point. You could just trade continuation. But again, what are you trading continuation towards? There's nothing to do but go higher. Unless we're gonna reach for this low. Yeah, I don't target gaps. So I don't see how people came in today and just thought, oh, bearish is, it makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, the driver's shooting lower. It makes sense. So I'm gonna short it. Like I thought, you just know those people are very reactive to price. They I don't know what their plan was when heading into the day, but there was no logic. But realistically, there was no logic behind it. There was no string switch second stage MD. There was even no second stage crack at the correlation or second stage crack correlation at the reversal during the driver. So you can't trade this reversal. So you would have to trade continuation away. And again, what are you targeting? Unless current day low was opened, even then that's just a lower probability. It's not even worth it. Just skip it. Wait for something else. Okay, my bias is bullish. Okay, I waited 10 a.m. Created that large wick. Okay, great. Now I know I have to wait till 12. Great. What does price do? It displaces higher, clearly showing that it wants to reach for these highs. Okay, great. Now my bullish bias is re-invalidated. Okay, great. Did we get that second stage PSP SMB fill or a transfer to second stage PSP to confirm the universal sequence to trade the leading asset in reversal away from the universal sequence towards our own liquidity? Do we get that? Yes, we do. Going into 2 p.m. But I don't trade 2 p.m. Okay, great. There's no trade today. And that's just as simple as that. And now on to next week. It really doesn't matter. But anything before this literally had nothing to do with the bias, made no sense, and what proves that is what price did here. so anyways, but I mean, people still made money on this, but I would like to see their win rate, honestly. I would like to see. I would like to see it because I mean that's crazy. That's crazy. You got to have some balls to fucking short that shit. You got to have. I mean that's it. There was no logic behind it though. It's not even. It's not even the model. It's not even the model. So, anyways, that's my end day recap. And I'm not hating. I just think that it's kind of just weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know. Because I wouldn't even want to like learn from them. I wouldn't even want to like, which is good because I mean that just shows how confident and how much I like know about my model, how confident I am in it, and I know what I look for, etc. What I trade. So it's like I wouldn't even want to understand why they took that because I understand it, but it still doesn't make sense. I understand that it literally makes no sense. So I want to understand what they thought was logical about this. Here it makes sense. I literally just want to make sense why we went lower. It makes complete sense. During the driver though, I just want to know why that is. And then I don't think anybody took that. I mean, if you took that, then again, it makes no sense. But yeah, so that's indices today. I don't even know what metals did. Uh, fucking shit PA on the daily. I'm not gonna lie, but I know that Asia was actually clean because I think Splash or UV took that shit. Because we had strength switch second stage SMT with like this high here. We had the first stage SMT with this high. Oh shit. And this is when Asia honestly could be clean. I just didn't even care about. I didn't even see this. She like this though. It's hard to see. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we had the SMT here, and you can say that's like a C2. How did what is very important about the C2 because this is clearly not a prominent C2. We barely closed back within the previous candle's range. This is more of an expansion kind of bullshit, not a reverse candle away from the kilo. So what's very important is what price does late in the day away from this SMT, right? Let me just go over this real quick. Right here. So literally late in the day at 10 a.m. we create this as well, we created it a long time ago. We created it. Oh yeah, we created it going into 10 a.m. pretty much. And 10 a.m. reverses away from that. Creates a string switch second stage PSP. But then we got that string switch via swing point SMT. Like so. Oh we know. Yeah, right. And we did that literally at 2 p.m. late in the day. So if the day yesterday manipulates late in the day, then the next day it can open up and just expand away early on. So that's when Asia expansion could actually be valid, right? Could be anticipatable. Um, and then it's kind of like there's obviously looking within this. Do we have a reversal signature? Because obviously, if today's gonna open up and head lower, there's not gonna be a far gap, right, to continue from. So it has to be a 1 hour swing high ideally. And again, it's not gonna be these highs because that's the string switch. So we have to continue from that. What do we do? Today opens up. It's higher first. It creates a gap, which is the universal sequence. Why do we create that? Hold that shit right there. So we hold this string switch here for a while, then we displace away. That displacement away confirms the overall SMT, the reversal away from this side, etc. And look at these clean fucking lows here, bro. So then we create a gap. So this is like the only area, if we measure, let me pull up the daily candle. If I put, um, so if today is going to continue higher or lower from this manipulation which formed during this within this wick yesterday. So therefore we have to respect current to high because if we don't respect current to high or pre to high, I mean, then we're not going to respect the string switch second stage until that yesterday formed late in the day. So we have to respect EQ this wick. What's in that area? This gap. So this is the only area for price to continue from. If it's not from this, then we're not going to go lower at that point. We're not going to respect that string switch. I don't like using hourly or 30-minute gaps. If it's the refined kilo, then it's a 4-hour gap for me, or a 1 hour swing high or low, right? So I mean, in reality, it is still logical though. It is still logical, but I want to take it. I don't know if we formed a two-stage, what the algorithm was. Because now at this point, it can't be a second stage PSP has to be filled because there's no PSP on there really. Or wait, what the did I go to the 50-minute? Not sure. Or on the 30-minute? Oh yeah, hurry up with this. I'm fucking. Oh, there's a PSP, okay. But I don't think we create that second stage PSP has to be filled. Okay, this would be the only chance. Like this is I would take this right. So trading the reversal, right? Leading us and reversal away from the normal sequence. So I gotta demand a second stage PSP has to be full or a string switch second stage PSP. If I'm trading the lagging asset, I see then it could be any form of string switch, but this is why I demand for continuation away from the overall reversal if I'm trading leading asset. And so this would be the only option. So we have to V-shape from this. Where I would use a 5-minute CSC. Here. Over. And we just don't reverse away from it. We just don't reverse away from it. So again, invalid at that point. So now we hold it though on this asset. Hold it originally. And then we don't create, I don't think we create second stage. Splash or UV show that the price credit string switch second stage into, which I just don't see that. There's no, because at that point, I mean, unless one of the gold tries to take it. Yeah, they both took it. There's no string switch second stage into there. Unless there's SMP here, but again, every asset took that high out. Every asset traded the gap. So there's like no SMP here. So this is about trade, no. Honestly. Because we don't even hold this SMT anymore, it's not even valid. There's no string switch. Second stage in TV, a consecutive candle. Okay, great. We create a C2 away from the gap. GXT reverse sequence. Now all time frames are online. But do we have confirmation to the gap? No, we don't. PSP maybe? We don't even have a PSP. We have no SMT with the gap. There's literally no SMT here. I don't know. I'm so confused on what this was. 1800, right? 1830. There's no SMT here. I just looked at that. There's literally no SMT. Oh wait, he showed so C2, so that's 1900. Hold on, let me just check this out. 1900. There's no SMT. I'm so confused. I don't know. There's no SMT. There. I don't understand, bro. Doesn't make sense. So maybe he saw that, thought we held it. Maybe we held it. Maybe we did have SMT there at one point. He just didn't really care if we didn't hold it or not. And then we create SMT here, I guess. Which I don't see that either. Maybe we did though. Okay, we did. Sure. That was the only SMT that formed. Again, is it string switch second stage PHP? No. Okay, not valid. Can't trade it. Trade it. But we expand from that. So that would have been HL and metals. That's like the only thing that I know price did. Honestly, I really don't know what else it did. Not sure, honestly, because at this point, it's like I want to stay bullish on this because of these highs here. So ideally, we continue from this range. EQ, do we have a fine killable? Okay, gap. Do we have SMT with that gap? Oh, yeah, we do. It's pretty spaced out SMT too, honestly. Okay, do we hold up? Not see how price just doesn't fucking. We expand and then consolidate. We expand into the killable and consolidate. That's a failure mid late. And then which is a continuation, so we should expand again. Exactly what we do, which causes, that's a complete invalidation, because now let's stay is heading beyond EQ of the previous day's range, creating that large wick. So it's kind of an invalidation to the bullish bias. So most likely, we're probably reaching for this low. Maybe there's a trade. I don't know. I'm not sure. So not sure. I don't think there was nothing I would really take. Nothing I would take. Okay. I mean, I think it's a PSVS and B 7 now. Technically, right here. Um, which we held the S&P, expanded away. So I mean, very clearly we're reaching for pretty low. So I mean, that would be like the only opportunity, right? To go into 6 a.m. So the for our kind of the 1 hour 30 minute, as long as we reach away from this, hold it, etc. And it's clean. That's valid. The 1 hour 30 minute, the 4 hour, the daily, all supports that bearish expansion. Let's take the profile, but and we have confirmation to trade the leading asset, which is gold, and reversal away from the number sequence dynamic, right? GXT reverse sequence. All right. So yeah, this would be valid. All right. This is like the only thing I would take. So within the kill zone as well. Something like revenue form. This PSP. We look within it. Do we have that V shape? Clearly we do. Nice V shape with gaps. I would probably demand a retest of that CSD or the gap here. If I don't get that, then I'll just take. I don't take the CICC. Honestly, I really don't. I just wouldn't take it. It has to be the first CSD and then shoot for that low. See if we get it. All right, boom, we got it. That would be scared as a motherfucker, but either way, really just use FCC. So when we do that, expand away and close here, draw my sucker. Price probably reaches a 2 hour right away. Yeah. So nice 2 hour trade. I want to take partials there or take full TP. Then we take lower and reach that low. So there you go. So that would be like the only trade, honestly, that I see during our game. But I don't trade. Honestly, I really don't trade metals often. I have no confidence in it, honestly. I heavily just trade indices. Anyways, so that's my day recap. Longest video, but that's metals. So I didn't even backtest this shit. Wasn't even sure what price did. I knew what Asia did, but yeah, New York game was. So I mean, it could have been clean, but anyways. So yeah, no trade, not one trade this week, but there was definitely trades that were offered almost every day. Tuesday, Thursday, and not Friday. But no, I would say they're all valid. I don't know what happened Tuesday, I forgot. But Thursday, definitely my fault. Should have taken that. But I decided to be lazy and not tape read. Literally 30 minutes before price provided my setup. Stopped tape reading 30 minutes before. And then Friday, the valid skip because I don't trade European. But honestly, it's definitely that is a good example today during European for when it's actually valid to trade European. There's specific times when you should, when you shouldn't trade sessions, right? Asia, London, New York AM, European. There's specific profiles that you would want to see within price. And realistically, just price me clean. And European was honestly like, dude, definitely valid. It's definitely valid to stay and tape read it. But again, super late in the day. I was already doing something else. I just don't care for European. So I mean, I miss it, and that's just how it is. It's really not a valid trade for me at that point because I don't, like I said, I don't trade European. So it's it's all good. So yeah. So yeah, another slow week for me. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm still learning though. Still growing psychologically, right? Um, and still getting better at building my narrative, not rushing it, still trying to improve on my procrastination, and et cetera, et cetera. Right? So all this simple shit that everybody else deals with. So, um, and yeah, eventually I know that I will fucking make it because I know that I'm on the right path. I mean, in reality, like I know that eventually it's gonna come as long as I keep practicing, keep working towards it. That'll be inevitable. But I'm not gonna lie, life is hard as shit right now outside of trading, so it makes trading 10 times harder. Um, but honestly, at this point, I really just don't care anymore. Like I just don't care if I find a trade, if I don't find a trade. It was kind of hard for me to accept that I didn't find a trade today. It is pretty hard for me to accept that shit usually, but now I've just been not really caring about the money. And I've been more focusing on building the narrative, just understanding what PA is doing, being more curious, and yeah, and that has obviously helped me. It's been helping me understand what PA is doing, um, and obviously that's going to help me make more money. So, uh, yeah, so my advice would be that which is a very honestly very important advice that I'm trying to master, is to not have the need for money, to not care about the money, to just forget about it because money is money. It's realistically just paper. It's just digital fucking numbers. Money means nothing, especially in trading when you can lose it tomorrow. Um, there's people that are making millions of dollars a fucking month, a year, and they're risking thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars on each trade that they take, and sometimes they lose that money. And so it's like, what do you think? Do you think they care about the money? No, they care about the edge. They care about what price is doing, the next opportunity. Um, and it's just like money is money. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna gain it. And it's so weird how we. I'm just fucking yapping because I like to, but it's just so weird how we grow up and we build this like belief that money is this like powerful fucking thing that has so much value, and that now that it's so hard to make. I mean, realistically, it's money is hard to make in life. It's fucking hard. And so when you're risking money, et cetera, it's hard to sometimes for me. It's hard for me to even spend money. Honestly, I like to save and shit. Um, I so it's like we just have this like um, I don't know, but we just care so much about money from a young age. We just believe that money is just I don't know very important, et cetera. Right? Which it is. In order to fucking live in this world, you have to have money. And but in reality, just like everything else, nothing has value unless you believe it has value. Unless people actually believe it has value. So money is literally just paper. It's literally fucking just paper. The reason why it has value is because people believe it has value. Money can that shit can change tomorrow, and everybody can be like, "Oh, the U.S. dollar is just fucking paper." Gold is now the new fucking main currency, right? Whatever. But it's just like you got to get to this point where you got to be willing to just burn the fucking money, burn it, fucking just get rid of it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Burn that shit so that you can double it. If that makes sense. Anyways, so yeah, that's my EOD recap.